All right, everybody. Good evening. So tonight for this video, my R32 Skyline is going to get some love. I'm going to do a little maintenance to the ATTESA system. So what I got planned here is I'm going to replace some of my rubber hoses in the ATTESA system with these silicone ones. I'm going to go ahead and replace my ATTESA actuator with a brand new one. And since I have to do all that crap, I'm going to go ahead and flush the system. I got some red line high temp ATF. It says, in the manual to use, like some shit like Nissan special power steering fluid or something like that, but I just don't think that shit exists anymore. So a lot of the forums I'm seeing, GTR blog, that sort of thing, talk about using red line high temp ATF for the ATTESA system itself. And then to get the actuator out, I'm going to have to drain the transfer case. So I'm going to go ahead and refill it with some Nissan ATF fluid per the manual. So that's what I got planned here. It really shouldn't be too hard. Some of the hoses might be a little bit of pain in the ass to get to, but for the most part, this should be fairly easy. So we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll be back here in just a minute. All right, so I am now here under the car. I'm at the rear of the transmission, and that is the actuator there. You can see, you can see the main pressure line there coming from the ATTESA system. So I'm going to disconnect that. Then I'm going to take those two bolts out there, and then the whole thing should pretty much slide right out. Like I said, I had to drain the transfer case, so we'll be ready for that. Now, the manual talks about a white indexing mark on this pressure hose to kind of mark the bottom for its orientation. I don't see one on here, so I don't know if it's like worn off from years ago or whatever. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and put a little black mark down on the bottom here, just so I know the orientation of this. I don't know why it says to do that, because I haven't really done this before, but it's just what the manual said to do. So we're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna take this off, and I'll be back in just a little bit. All right, so you can see I got the hose off, I got the bolts out, and really that's all you do is just kind of turn it clockwise there a little bit, and you just smack it out with a hammer there, or a mallet or something. So because it's in there with a little rubber seal and whatnot. So but yeah, that's it. So I'll be back in a second. All right, there we go. We got the old one out. You can see there's a little rod in there that has to line up with the actuator. I'll show that when I go to put it back together. Yeah, and that's it. So you can see where previously they had the old one in. They put some freaking silicone around it. I don't know, the manual doesn't say that you have to do that, so I don't know if this one was leaking or something, or if it's just something you have to do in addition to make sure it doesn't leak. I don't know. But I'm going to clean it off, and then probably going to put the new one in. Maybe I'll put a little thin thing of silicone around it or something like that. But because I just don't want to put it all back together, and just to find out that it's kind of leaking. So anyway, so I'm going to clean this up, and I'll be back in a little bit with putting the new one in. So when you compare the new one to the old one here, I can see why. Yeah, maybe why they would put some sealant on there, because like you can see there's supposed to be a lip, like a ring there to form a nice seal, but on the old one looks like that one has deteriorated. So like I said, maybe at some point this started leaking, and instead of replacing it, they just put a bunch of sealant on it and called it a day. I'm not too sure. So anyway, like I said, this should go in pretty easily. That rod that I showed you just goes right in the center there. I put a little grease around here so it slides in there nicely, and then it just bolts right up, and then that's it. So really not that big of a deal. But I said I might just put a little bit of sealant around this flange or something, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I just I guess to a little bit of context here, I used to have an old Mach 1. You guys, if you're watching some of my videos, you've heard me reference it. And I used to have this old Mach 1, and I was replacing the thermostat on it, and like if any of you guys have any familiarity with old Gen 1 freaking Mustangs, like the goddamn thermostat housing will leak no matter what. Like even if you just put the gasket on there and bolt it back up, that joker will fucking leak. So you gotta put some freaking you gotta RTV the shit out of it. But so anyways, that's why I guess I'm a little bit of PTSD from that. But like anyway, so let me go ahead and put this back together, and I'll be back in just a minute. All right, and that's it. The new one's in. It actually went in really easily. You just tighten those two bolts down to 43 to 50 foot-pounds, according to the manual. And then that's it. And then you hook back up the hose. That's got a torque spec that I need to look up, but yeah. And then you refill the friggin' transfer case, and that is it for replacing the ATTESA actuator assembly. So really not hard at all. Now, of course, once I get this all done, I'm going to have to bleed the ATTESA system, which I've never done before, but there's a lot of posts out there to talk how to do it. There's two places you got to bleed it from, here at the actuator and then back at the pump itself. But we'll cross the bridge when we get to it. But yeah, anyway, that was pretty easy. So back in a second. All right, so, and that's it. You just go ahead and connect up the hose there, torque it to 29 to 35 foot-pounds, and that's it. Like I said, mindful of that indexing mark. I don't know if that's terribly necessary, but the shop manual said to do it, so if I can do it. And so that's it. So I'm gonna let that sit overnight. I'll fill the transfer case tomorrow, and I'll get to work on the hoses tomorrow. It's a little bit late here in Texas. It's almost 11. So, but like I said, honestly, that really was not hard to do at all. I probably could have banged it out a hell of a lot quicker if I wasn't stopping to like make videos and stuff. But anyway, super easy. Like I said, we'll do the Hika's, and I'm sorry, no, bad R32 owner, not Hika's, well, ATTESA hoses tomorrow, and then we'll prime the system, and we'll see how it goes. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you next time.